everyone, thanks so much for joining me. In this video, we're going to do a standing back bend and maybe even standing side stretch because they really go well together. You really want to think about really all back bends as up and over, or all about lengthening the spine. So with the name of it, it just feels like there's pressure, to get as deep of a back bend as we can. But what we really need is length and space and a sense of decompressing the joints, decompressing the spine, and the muscles are working hard. So I'm gonna go ahead and step on back here. I do have a block handy, so you might find that helpful, but it's not required. So the block is actually to be used in between the thighs, okay, just to give a sense of awareness to the thigh muscles, okay, and the organization of it all. So I'm going to hold on to it for just a second. So we're going to line up the legs, and your feet could be together, they could be slightly apart. The only reason I'm going to have mine apart really is because I want to place a block in between my thighs. But we want to organize the feet so that the center lines of the feet are parallel. And then, okay, so that hopefully that's encouraging the center lines of the legs to be parallel with each other. I'm going to lift the toes and root across the heels, root across the balls of the feet, and really bring energy up. Okay, so engaging inner thighs, outer thighs, base of glutes, pelvic floor, everything is coming up. That line continues, okay, up toward the belly button, at an upward diagonal toward in between the shoulder blades, to the sternum, to the center of the throat, base of skull, crown of head. I'm always thinking about that line, always drawing energy upward in toward the midline. Once I have those two things, then I explore that sense of from the center line expanding, okay? But I'm really primarily focused on the first two steps, at least in the beginning, okay? So now I'm gonna place the block, okay, and I'll turn toward the side so I can get more of a back bend, and you can see, okay, that I'm really far more focused on length and up than considering going back. So all that, okay, but for me, facing this way. You can start out supporting, okay, around the rim of the pelvis, okay. You just want to make sure that whatever you're doing, okay, with your hands, you're not shooting your hips forward. It's almost as though you would do this with a wall right in front of you, okay? So I usually soften the knees for a moment so I can really anchor and draw energy up. Now also the key here, and if you send your hips forward, okay, we pinch the low back, and we also potentially unground those thigh bones. So we're really trying to keep space, lightness, lift, okay, in the joints and engaging the muscles appropriately to be most effective. This point I'm straightening the legs, got the support, and I just keep working on grounding and lifting, feeling as though there's a hook, okay, around my sternum, around my heart, lifting it up. You could look forward, up, let your head fall back. It's what works and feels like it continues the length of the position. You need to be able to breathe and breathe well. So I'm thinking up, rooting down, okay, to bring energy up. So you can have your hands, okay, staying. They could walk down your legs, okay. They could reach up. That really adds to the challenge. Okay, so I'm just lengthening, lifting. If you watch any of the prone back bend videos, the cobra, locust, bow, okay, all this relates, okay. We just happen to be standing, lengthening, keeping head of the arm bones grounded, breathing, lifting, and then with or without support, okay, of your hands, okay, coming up with length, maybe going right into a forward fold, okay, working with the length, maybe coming into side stretch or a whole combination. Okay, for the side stretch, I'm just going to set the block to the side, but you still want to pretend it's there. Whenever I do anything to the side, I do bring my feet really close together. So I have the balls of my big toes, inner line of the big toes touching, but my heels are slightly apart to really maintain those center lines. But work with what your body will allow you to do, what your feet will allow you to do. I really have to be mindful to not let my ankles roll in toward one another. I want to distribute the weight evenly across my feet. I like to do this whenever I have the chance to do a side stretch with your back, with the back to a wall, because we can feel when we go off kilter, because usually we go into a side stretch, the hips will go, one will go forward, one will go back, the opposite shoulder will go forward and back. And so rather than getting the full length, okay, we end up closing off channels. So the more we can keep all those channels open, that sense, right, always the sense of lightness, okay, space in the joints, and engaging the muscles in such a way that it enhances the space, okay? So rooting across the feet, center lines, okay, length and space, picking a side, okay? For now, I'm gonna have one arm down, one arm up. You could just as easily, you're not gonna be able to see this, but you could interlace fingers, hold on to your wrist. Okay, I'm just gonna come into it here, drawing shoulder blades back, lengthen, keep growing, 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 lengthen, keeping a sense of connection, okay? And again, it's up, then over. So this is me effortful, this is me sinking into it, okay? Doesn't feel good. Okay, so you can always back up the pose, reignite, okay? Re-lengthen, breathe. Now, only if it feels okay for your neck would you, look down or up or kind of check in with it. A way to make sure that your neck feels as good as possible is to have a slight tuck of the chin, pull the base of your skull or the occipital part of your skull back, okay? Lengthen, and then you'll probably have a better feeling when you look up, okay? And then coming back up. Can pause in between sides just to observe, okay, how you feel, the effects of the position, and then going into side two, okay, so being equally intentional, lengthen, equal samasthiti, equal standing pose, okay, so enters from there, okay, or mountain pose, okay, and then side two. Head of the arm bones are in the shoulders, just as the thigh bones are in the hips. Muscles that surround support. We lengthen, okay? And just notice, are you losing connection here? Do you need to back up the pose, okay, to realign? I'm always having to return to the sense of length and lightness, okay? Pulling the base of the skull back, maybe peeking up, breathing, okay? Still trying to keep hips and shoulders, okay, mostly aligned, all right? Couple more breaths. See if you can grow longer, and it's fine if you have to back up the pose to do it. You're gonna get more out of the position, the more length and space you create within the body. And then coming all the way up, maybe reaching both arms up, checking in with the shoulders, okay, with the neck. So every pose is a successful pose if you feel that you've created space and a sense of lightness and lift, that you can stand taller, feel freer, okay, and move with more ease within the body. Standing back bend, standing side stretches, wonderful, fundamental, foundational poses. I hope that this was all helpful, and I would love to hear from you. Have a wonderful day. Namaste.